to the program. I am Adeshawa Josh. It's time to take you through major headlines around the world. Today is Good Friday, and Christians all over the world are today commemorating the day. The Friday before Easter Sunday is a religious holiday observed primarily to reflect on the crucifixion of Jesus Christ and his death at Calvary. Holy Friday, Great Friday, or even Black Friday, as it is usually referred to, is a holiday observed during the Holy Week preceding Easter Sunday, when the resurrection of Christ is celebrated. And apart from fasting and strict abstinence, some churches take part in a procession called the Stations of the Cross. The procession commemorates key events that took place on the day of Christ's crucifixion, including his condemnation to death, carrying his cross through the streets of Jerusalem, his crucifixion, and laying of his body in the tomb.
Catholic clergy left the Church of the Holy Sepulchre on Good Friday ahead of a traditional procession to trace the footsteps of Jesus in Jerusalem. The doors of the Holy Sepulchre Church were opened as pilgrims from all over the world gathered in the courtyard to see the procession led by the Latin Patriarch Ford Twill, who marched behind clergymen and other members of the church. Every Easter, thousands of Christians from around the world flock to Jerusalem to pray and commemorate the death of Jesus Christ. Good Friday is marked by walking the Via Dolorosa, or the Way of Sorrows. The faithful follow the route they believe Jesus walked, carrying his cross to where he was crucified more than 2,000 years ago. Along the route, a crowd stops to pray at the various stations of the cross, which show significant points of his journey. Christian Easter celebrations culminate on Sunday, the day he rose from the dead. Meanwhile, the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge spent Friday morning at Sydney's Royal Easter Show in the city's Olympic Park as they continue their 10-day tour of Australia. Thousands lined the route through the show to see the couple who attended without baby Prince George. The royal couple were shown a number of fruit and vegetable displays, then enjoyed an art exhibition. They also watched a sheep shearing and wool handling demonstration and met the winner of the show to design a dress for the Duchess of Cambridge, made from purely local wool.
Meanwhile, here in Nigeria, the Aso Rock Chapel in the presidential villa opened today to enable Christian faithful mark the crucifixion of Jesus Christ. President Goodluck Jonathan and his mother Eunice were among worshippers who reflected on the life and time of Jesus Christ. The Good Friday service, anchored by the chaplain of the church, was very particular about the death of Jesus Christ. State House correspondent Chukwuma Nwekusi has the report.
The chapel in the presidential villa may not have been filled to its brim, but it had all the trappings of a Good Friday service. Among those who experienced the worship here included the president, the mother, and other key members of the Goodluck Jonathan administration. Lessons were shared out as usual and read by key members of the congregation, who also took time out to share exhortations from the scriptures and lessons there for all. The lessons and preachings were interspaced with those traditional hymnals as well as praise and worship songs. There were prayers for Nigeria and the inhabitants of the land, especially that the bomb blast in the land will not repeat itself and that the transformation agenda will not be derailed.
Could you imagine the Son of God and God himself being treated anyhow? Flogged, spat upon? What about you? Who are you then? Who are you then? If the Son of God was treated, who are you? That's why I tell myself, who are you? If that happened to Jesus. You talk about long life. He didn't live up to 40, Master. 33 and a half years. So how about those of you who want to live 125? For what? I ask for what? The psalm says it's not about how long. It's what have you done?
They describe the death of Jesus as unique, designed to reconcile man with God, and call on all Christian faithfuls to continue to reflect on the preachings they heard here, even as they get into the Easter holiday proper. Chukwuma Onwekusi, Channels Television News.